let's talk about how to get a better kick up to handstand. Before we can get our controlled kick up freestanding, we must first be able to get a controlled kick up using the wall. Because if you can't get a controlled kick up using the wall, how are you going to be able to do it without the wall? There is a way to use the wall efficiently, and there's a way to use the wall inefficiently. Now, before we get to our wall drills, let's warm up a little bit. If you've seen any of my handstand videos, then you know how important it is to warm up your wrists first. This helps your wrist mobility, and it will also help you get better, more balanced handstands. If you've never kicked up to a wall before, or if you find the kick and impact of your hands a little scary, then I want you to add this drill into your warm-up routine. We're going to stand in our lunge position, arms up, we're nice and activated, core activated, and we're just going to think about high-fiving the ground as that back leg kicks up nice and hard to the ceiling. Back to our lunge, kick, lunge, kick. This is also working to warm up our hamstrings, but it's also getting us ready for a strong kick up. Always do both sides just for good measure. Then we're going to further warm up our upper body by doing some inchworms. We're just going to forward fold down, walk out to our plank, and back to our feet. Out to our plank, and high hips, walk it back to the feet. Do this about 5 to 6 times. You should feel your body getting warm. For this first drill, we're not worried about kicking all the way up to the wall just yet, but we do want to introduce the walls so that when we are kicking all the way up, it doesn't make it so scary. Hands down on the mat. They're going to be about shoulder width apart, Spider-Man hands. Grab the mat, fingers wide, and we're just going to do some baby kick-ups. One foot is going to feel more natural in front than the other, and the other leg is going to kick. So we're just going to kick, little baby kicks, just to get ourselves acclimated to kicking off the ground. You don't have to worry about going super high with these, because like I said, this is more about getting over your fear than anything else. You can also see what it feels like to go from your lunge to your baby kick up and back. Feeling a little bit more momentum. The thing I want you to remember from this lunge position is to push the floor away on impact. We don't want to collapse in the shoulders because that is how we land on our heads, and we don't want that. Our first drill is going to be the bent knee kick up. We're going to test our distance using one of our bent legs, and it's going to be flat up against the wall when we kick up. So right about here is where our hands are going to go. You can either kick up hands on the ground, or you can do your lunge to kick up. Hands down, Spider-Man hands, and kick. You want to ideally land nice and soft, and here you want to push the floor away, squeeze your booty, core in nice and tight, ribs are down, and you'll be able to feel yourself stacking in the handstand. And ideally that bent knee is going to keep you from hitting the wall too hard. The bent knee handstand also lets you keep good handstand alignment, because if we took both feet to the wall, we would have a banana back, and we don't want that. We want a nice, straight, aligned handstand, hips stacked over the hands, wrists, and shoulders, and we want a nice straight line. We just want the toes here for gentle support. When you first do this drill, you may land with a bit of a harder foot and a harder landing on the wall. That's okay. The more that you do it, the more control you'll get, and the more aware of your space you'll be. Then once you advance, you can take it closer to the wall and begin to straighten out both legs in your kick up. One of the most important things to remember, even when we're using the wall, is to always think about our shape. We always want a nice straight line from our hands to our toes. We want the hips and ribs tucked in, booty engaged, core engaged, and our gaze is always looking between our hands. That is how we maintain a nice straight handstand shape. Because if you always kick up and then have a banana shape, when you start your freestanding kick-ups, you'll have the same shape. And a banana back means you're continually going to overkick and your legs are going to continually go past your hands. So remember, we want to use the wall not just as a safety to catch us in case we go over, but we also want to use it as a tool to help us get better shaping and balance for when we take our handstands to freestanding. You could even practice your kick-ups from headstand, adding blocks to give yourself more of a challenge. And before you take those handstands freestanding, make sure you know how to bail first. Personally, being right hand dominant, I like to keep my right hand down and cartwheel out with my left hand. It sounds complicated, but I promise you it's not. If you kick up and feel yourself going too far, you just move the left hand and it opens your hips to cartwheel out. Of course, you always need to make sure that you have enough space to do this, which is why you should do it outside in an open area or inside where you have plenty of free space. Practice these drills with consistency and you'll have a better kick up in no time. And always remember, babe, don't overthink it. Just have fun. Love you.